G'day everyone, this is the Well Brewed Podcast. Just Clemmy and I here confessing our sins from this episode. We just recorded it and have just subsequently had a bit of a chat and done a bit more of research and just thought we'd clear up a few points. The first one was around which breweries get the excise rebate. I think it's fair to say that I was 100% right, and you were 100% wrong, Clemmy, on that one.
I guess
he's backpedaling.
There's only a week in it.
Yes, good point.
Yeah.
But everyone who has an excise license does get the rebate, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
My bad.
So all the big breweries, no, it's okay, mate. We all make mistakes. I made 3 of them. No, it's joking. Love you, boys. And then the other one was around, we're talking around cash flow and lodging your excise through the portal and paying excise and then getting it rebated back. It has since changed. Not since we recorded, since Clemmy was doing it.
Showing my age now.
It's remission now, not rebate. So you actually don't pay up until the 350K. And you then need to start paying should you hit that. So I guess like the point around budgeting is you need to keep your own records around how much you're racking up.
And you still need to lodge.
You still need to lodge, but you don't need to, doesn't come out of your pocket. So it is actually way better for cash flow. So that's actually a really nice change. Thanks, ATO. So if you can factor that into your modelling, it's probably a good thing. Definitely a good thing. Anything else you want to add, Clemmy?
No, I've probably made enough faux pas for this episode.
All right, mate. I forgive you. But anyway, I'll say hi to Mum while I'm here. I don't think I got one in that episode. And on with the episode. Episode 7, Excise Rebate. This is the Well Brewed Podcast, where we share our 40-plus years of commercial brewing experience to help fellow beer lovers on their journey of building a brewery. Full disclosure, we own a brewery equipment business, but we aren't here to sell you anything. This is truly about helping the industry we love. The industry. I said that last week as well. Golly. G'day.
No beer yet.
No, I haven't even opened it. You've opened yours though, Clemmy.
I know. Jumping the gun.
My name's Lachy. I'm here with my mate Clemmy. We're drinking fresh local beer and chatting about building breweries. So Jake is not here. I think last week we spoke, he was off to CBC's in Nashville right now. He was at Taylor Swift tonight, wasn't he? When he had his shirt off and having a good time.
At Swifty.
That's sweet. Pulled a Swifty. Oh, that's classic.
Concert as well.
How are you, mate? We just flew in from Cairns last night. Been up there on an install. We're pretty weary.
I actually got about 9 hours sleep last night, I reckon.
Beautiful. Rub it in.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I had about 7, maybe 6. I don't know. That's all good. But look, today we're going to talk about excise rebate and how you can best leverage it and use it for your business. But what are you drinking, Clemmy, since you jumped the gun?
I might as well. I've jumped the gun on more than one occasion this morning. So Gallows, Trapdoors, West Coast IPA.
Beautiful.
Yummy. It is a very full can. I like very full cans as well.
That's good. I just cracked, because we weren't together. We were together a week, but we didn't organise beers for the podcast.
So what have you got?
I got this Purple Hazy. I bought it because I'm a massive Freo Dockers fan, and Pirate Life are not independent, but they did a beer with my footy team, so I couldn't help myself.
Fair call. We'll let you off just this once.
It's good and it's fresh. It's very fresh. It's like 2 weeks old, so.
Yum.
That's good. So.
Cool. Wow.
Is that good? Yeah, it's a big dog. I had one of those a couple of weeks ago. So let's slip into something more serious. So we're talking about excise rebates. Probably, I don't know, can sound a little bit boring, I guess, like it's money and it's not about beer, but I think it's something that has changed reasonably recently and has had a massive impact on the industry and the viability of a lot of small businesses and allowed them to, be more profitable and allow more breweries to pop up. So, I mean, just for a bit of history, it was only $30,000 rebate per year that brewers were getting pre 2018. It did go up then to 100K and
to 100.
Yeah, which was only, it sounded like a lot at the time, but they brought it into line with the WET, which is the wine equalisation tax, in 2021. So there was a lot of lobbying and a lot of hard yakka by some industry bodies, and with the government to get that up to 350K, which has been a massive game changer, right? It's an extra $250,000 in the pockets of small brewers, of all brewers, really.
Oh, independent craft brewers, isn't it?
It's every brewery gets it, right? But the big boys just doesn't have as much of an impact on their bottom line, right?
Is that true? I'm going to have to hold you there. Like, is that
we can
true?
fact check it? No, I suppose they would get it for one brewery that they own, right?
So it's not for independent brewers; it's for every brewer.
It's for every beer and spirit producer, I believe. Look, happy to be wrong, but I'm generally not. So,
yeah, you would probably know a bit more about that. So it's the license, the artisan brewer's license, or the artisan craft beer license that's another kettle of fish, isn't it? So
yes, because that's a state-based licensing thing, whereas this is federal ATO.
ATO, yeah.
And I believe it's so a business like Lion that owns however many breweries, 20 breweries, would not apply to every brewery. It would apply to the first 350K of excise that they pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that correct? You digging?
I'm digging. I haven't probably delved into that. I've dug fairly deep into how to utilise best the excise, for sure. And how
right. Well, I suppose we're probably
lodging a lot of reports.
I would say the CEO of Lion's probably not listening anyway, and is probably more of an authority than we are on this. But I guess, this is probably more focused for startups, craft brewers, building brew pubs, etc. That is going to have the most impact on them anyway, regardless.
Absolutely. And I mean, I guess you can't give it to one and not the other.
That's right. So, but I mean, there's probably three models that, we talk about loosely that you can have for your brewery: gypsy brewing, wholesale, or brew pub. Now, gypsy brewing is complex. I don't know if we want to dig right into that today. It's a bit of a grey area. But I think as far as wholesale and brew pub, do you want to just give us a bit of your thoughts around what is the, where it has the most impact from that side, and what model it's most relevant to, this rebate?
I think it's most relevant to the brew pub model.
Yep.
So it really makes, there's a lot of expenses that go into your brew pub. If you can not pay excise tax and get all your margin across your bar, then that's going to be the best model, because you're either kegging, or serving tank and kegging, which are all recognised vessels as far as the ATO is concerned. And so generally you pay less rebate, or you pay less tax on keg beer.
Yeah, packages over 49.5 litres or whatever, 48.5, whatever the determination is.
So if you can maximise the rebate volume, you can maximise the amount of beer you can make and still achieve a rebate on by kegging all your beer.
Yes. So you could wholesale that, but I think we've spoken about just your margins are slimmer, right? Because
Yeah, absolutely.
your sales price is significantly less, a third or a quarter of what you'd be selling that beer for over your own bar.
Yeah, so to get maximum benefit from the rebate, the best model is the brew pub.
Yes. In saying that, that's assuming you can maximize tap out the entire 350K
Yeah,
with
look,
your brew pub. So
that's right.
assuming you can't, there are other avenues to pursue which would allow you to continue to claim that. Because probably, sequencing to do it is sell as much beer through your own bar as you can. And that's where you're getting the best bang for your buck on your excise. But then other ways to continue to try and reach that ceiling of the 350K would be wholesaling your beer, kegs preferably, and then small pack. And producing spirits is another.
It's another cheeky avenue. Or what about seltzer?
Seltzer, yep, brewed or spirit based, ginger beer.
Yep, all are covered under that.
Yep,
that system because they're all considered beer. Well,
yes, all spirits
or spirits. Yeah,
but yeah, RTDs. Flavored ciders are the same. True cider, like real apple-based cider, falls under the wet, which is another way to claim more rebate to leverage that.
then using the wine equalisation tax system rather than the beer and spirits
excise. So I guess it's technically you could maximize both and up to 700K. It's probably not reasonable for most breweries to do that.
No, I mean that's a lot of volume. Yeah, it is. It is there. I guess it is there to leverage.
Yeah, I mean you can do it because the same producer's license can produce both wine and beer and cider. You don't need a different liquor license.
That's right.
So talking about volumes, let's just roll back to beer a little bit.
Yes.
If you're doing just purely selling kegs of beer, or let's just do volume, right, of beer. And it'd have to be in kegs because packages got a different rebate rate. It's going to all be found on the ATO website. You've done some numbers on how many litres of beer you'd need to sell.
I've done some numbers, but they're possibly out of date now because I haven't taken into account a bunch of excise changes. And I guess that's how the government are cheekily getting back some of their creeping back some of their rebate.
Yep.
Increasing excise tax on beer every 6 months.
Yeah.
But when I did it, it was around 200,000 litres of beer roughly. And I think that included a portion of that was pack as well. So for takeaways across your own venue.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more around. I did the analyses based around a venue, and you max out at around that 200,000 litre mark, give or take. I mean, there's
give or take, but there's variables as in small pack, large pack. ABV is a big one.
ABV is a variable. If all your beers are 9%, then
your volume,
your volume's going to be less.
Yes.
Because the system is based, the excise system is all based on litres of alcohol per litre, or LALs.
Yes.
So,
lally.
Yeah, a LAL. So the more alcohol you've got, the more you pay in tax.
Yeah. So I did some similar numbers the other week. And I was based on a 5% beer. If you sold exclusively 5% beer in kegs,
Yep.
It was about 175, 180,000 litres.
Oh, okay.
So I think,
my numbers are outdated.
well, but I think you had done them on a slightly lower ABV, maybe like mid fours.
Yep.
And without a couple of increases. Like it's around that zone, right? It's still a fair bit of beer to be selling over your own bar. Even at 175,000 litres a year, that's like 60 plus kegs a week. You got to be shifting. So if that's your problem is that you're selling 60 kegs a week, you've probably got other problems like, that's a pretty good problem to have.
Where to hide your money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Cayman Islands. But
you'd be pretty happy, wouldn't you be, if you were selling 60 kegs a week and you had another problem? It's a good problem. Yeah, it's a big good problem to have.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that that's around $1,000 a keg.
Yep, retail.
Good rev.
Yep.
So I think that's where you get the maximum benefit out of the rebate. Like the brew pub model is the one. If you want to get great bang for your buck, do as much as you can in your brew pub, sell it all across your bar, and then if you've got some left over, then go wholesaling your little heart out.
Yep, and it allows you a subsidised marketing tool by doing cans of beer locally into bottle shops around where you live. It gives you more reach to more potential customers and allows you to be competitive in that space from like a 4-pack perspective, right? Because you're up against a lot of the big dogs who definitely are paying excise on every can of beer they sell, and you are not. So it allows you to actually get in the hands of people on a small scale at a competitive price.
Absolutely. And so we're fiercely independent.
Yes.
But so let's support independent bottle shops, and I would suggest that that's probably the cheapest and best way to distribute your cans of beer around and still make some reasonable margin, whilst getting some excise rebate relief.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's good. I guess thinking about the nuts and bolts of it. So you've probably been a bit closer to this from an administrative perspective than I have in the past.
Lucky me.
Yeah, I know. What a treat. You love calculating lals.
Love it.
Yeah. You're having a big old lal while you're doing it. But so how does it actually work? So the first 350K, are you just don't pay, or you are claiming it back? Is it at the end of the year? Like how does that function in real life?
I think it does vary slightly depending on what you've agreed with your manufacturing license with the ATO.
And how you're reporting it.
Yeah, how you're reporting it. So we probably don't need to go into bonded and unbonded and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, generally, common practice is that you lodge to the ATO monthly, and you have to, if that's what you've agreed with the ATO, you're going to lodge on the agreed period, and so you would pay that. You would pay that lodge and pay the excise tax.
Yep.
And receive the rebate.
Right. And when would you receive that rebate back? Like, it's not immediately, is it?
No, I think it would be around. It was around 2 weeks, in my experience, and that was because, and we were doing it through the ATO business portal. So, and that seemed to be the quickest and best way to do it. I'm not sure if actually there's another way, but you lodge through the ATO business portal, and they refund your money after you've paid it.
Okay, so it would be something like on the portal, you're lodging your monthly excise. say you're lodging 30K because you've completely optimized your rebate and you're lodging 30K every month, you actually need to physically pay that 30K to the ATO. And then within a number of weeks, you actually receive that 30K back until you do that up to the value of 350K. So I guess practically from a accounting perspective, you still need to budget for excise payment every month.
You do need to budget for excise.
It's not like you just don't pay it.
It's not like you don't pay it. It's been a few years. I'm not sure if it has changed, but that's what we were doing. So, and that was under the $100,000 arrangement. And like when you maxed out your 100,000, they rebated you the difference.
Yeah.
So the idea is that you're paying monthly, but your cash flow is improved because you'll get it back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then there's usually a part payment. So you get to $100,000 and they refund you the part payment.
Right.
So that's how it worked when I was doing it.
Okay. No, that's cool. And I guess there's just one other little point I thought we should touch on is just when you analyses of your beer or product up to and then over 100,000 litres. There's just a little bit of different methodology or equipment required depending on your volume. So when you're starting a brew pub, you're probably going to be under 100,000 litres, and there's different rules around that. But then once you get over 100,000 litres, there's a jump up in the expectation on how accurate your instruments are or your analyses are. So you're Mr. Quality. Why don't you just give us a little rundown on that?
So expectation under 100,000 litres, and you're considered quite a low volume user. Mm-hmm. And at that point, as long as you've got a recognised method of determining alcohol in your beer, and that can be a calibrated hydrometer, and that's a recognised method, and you can use then an algorithm based on original extract and apparent extract, gravity, whatever you're using, to determine alcohol. And that's an accepted method of determining alcohol for lodging to the ATO. Now, once you hit 100,000 litres, the expectation is that you need better accuracy in order to determine alcohol, because as the numbers go up, the variation starts to be quite significant. So you could be paying significantly less tax if you've got an offset in your analyses, perhaps. And so the expectation is that you need something like another very recognised method, but you have to meet more stringent accuracy measurements. Now, I'd have to open the book on this one, but there's like a decimal place involved.
Okay. So I guess it's typically more expensive bits of kit that you need for your lab to analyse your product as a legal requirement once you get over 100,000 litres. That can be in the form of a super fancy alkalizer, but does distillation method fall under that?
Bloody hell, Lachy.
Yeah, I just put you on the spot. We decided to do this podcast about 10 minutes ago, and now I'm throwing you the curly ones. But
I know.
You've only been doing this 25 years, mate, so I just expect that you'll have some level.
I'm also getting old, and so is my memory. So my understanding was distillation you could do, but you would need a good densitometer that reaches the decimal place accuracy that they're chasing to allow you to do that. So I think, without giving away some branded names, but I think the minimum was like an Alex 500. It's kind of the most cost-effective, cheapest method that has the accuracy to get you there.
And is recognised and approved. It's a kettle of fish, and if you have any specific questions, just email Clemmy, podcast@wellbrewed.com.au, and we'll endeavour to point you in the right direction.
We absolutely will point you in the right direction. I should know this better. But that's my understanding, is that you over 100,000 litres, you need better equipment that's going to give you better accuracy, and then the ATO are a little bit more comfortable about you and what you're doing. It also shows that essentially the ATO want to know that the person responsible for lodging knows what they're doing.
Yes.
So when they're giving away manufacturing licenses, and I know they don't mind giving them away because they get money back, but the philosophy behind it is that they want brewers to have a certain level of expertise, and that makes them feel pretty comfortable about the accuracy of the information that they're receiving from the person lodging.
And you can get audited, right? I've seen
it. Absolutely can get audited. I actually have been audited.
Right.
And it's not, wouldn't say it's the most pleasant experience I've ever had.
I think even if you're compliant, it's not pleasant. It's just...
even weights and measures auditing. I've been audited by weights and measures, and I've been audited by the ATO. So, but they take it very seriously, and they want all your numbers. They want to know. So they want to know that what you're doing is not underhanded, and you're not selling alcohol that hasn't attracted excise.
Yeah.
So I think there's probably, if you're under 100,000 litres, then there's probably a little bit more there's definitely a bit of a laissez-faire attitude in the industry on it.
Yeah.
I think I'm not out of school. I'm not out of line saying that. And you'll probably get away with a little bit more from the ATO because you're less of a concern because you're not paying tax and you're not getting close to the rebate.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably in that region, you've probably got a little bit more leeway saying that you could still be audited.
And you still need certified instruments for measuring, like decent hydrometers. You're not getting something from the home brew shop, and that's not acceptable for reporting.
Well, I see this raises another question, I guess. I mean, if you're putting beers on your bar, you don't know the alcohol volume of each of those beers, then that's not a good look either.
No.
So if you're putting up a 6.6% IPA on your bar and it's actually 7.6% alcohol, then you're a little over 2 standard drinks and you open yourself up to another issue, which could be that there's litigation involved because you're not meeting the packaging standards.
So that's another kettle of fish. Maybe we should dive into that in another potty, but
maybe it is. I think the ATO. Well, if I was the ATO, that's probably something I'd be looking at. And I've personally had a conversation with a representative of the ATO about the issue of alcohol labelling. And I think they're aware of what's going on in the industry. We're going to see a little bit more attentiveness from the ATO in the future.
Right. Well, we'll heed that warning. It's maybe a good note to wrap up on.
Could be.
And that's it. little short and sharp and sweet episode 6 of the Well Brewed podcast. If you have any subjects you'd want us to talk about or specific questions you have, hit us up on Facebook or Instagram at wellbrewed, or email us at podcast@wellbrewed.com.au. If you want Clemmy to give you all the info about how to measure alcohol, then come email him there and annoy him.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.